Okay, so I finally arrived Umuahia, the Abia state capital, and I was kind of impressed because, should I say impressed? I wasn't much surprised because it was the state is said to be a home of trade and enterprise, and so you could see some different businesses all around. And this was where I was standing waiting for a taxi with my luggage. And so we finally got one that was taking us to the NYSC orientation site. That's Umunna Bende, a local government area on the Abia state. So it was quite a long distance from Umo here. But on my way, I found also another PCM, though I can't remember her name. But anyways, we arrived camp and after some, checkings at the gate, documentations at the gate, I was assigned a bed space in the hostel, and those are my belongings. And so I had to come out to do some registration. So, finally in camp, my day one party, say hi. But it was not quite easy because you meet others who have already arrived before you and you have to join the queue while registering. You can also see the stress on my face. Man, I was tired, like the distance was actually far, and I just had to rest briefly and then go to continue the next exam. So that was during the morning meditation. The public relations officer was teaching us how to sing the NYSC anthem. It wasn't really that easy at first.
Abia God's own state, the home of trade and enterprise, Alpha State.
And then after the NYSC anthem, we also learned how to sing the Abia state anthem. That's the state's anthem itself. At first, it was difficult, but when we were giving the manuals in the camp, some of us had to read through the manuals, and it contained the Abia anthem, and that made the learning process fairly easy for us.
Enterprise, Alpha State we hail. We shall walk and talk to carry on top. Abia must be great on everything we stand. Together we can go bless.
We complete the registration yesterday. That's what I'm heading over to the registration center to complete. You can see the background is very busy background. So I'm heading to the registration point with my credentials. Round up where I'll continue from where I stopped yesterday. It's a really hectic activity here. You can see the queue all around, so that's basically what you face during camp, especially if you arrive camp late. You're going to join a whole lot of queue just to do some basic registrations, which are very, very necessary. Without doing them, you're more like a student without a matric number. That's how it is, because you'll be assigned a class. And so to make the registration process a bit less boring for this damsel, I had to put a smile on her face. You can see how stressed she is, but when I touched her to face the camera, she actually smiled, and that made a whole lot of difference. You can see her beautiful smile just to relieve the stress of the queuing and the sun and all that. So that was it. And then next was registration for Book of Life. That's what they call it. It's called Book of Life because you just have to enter your name there to show that you have arrived camp. And then after that, it was time for some lectures, some kind of orientation. I was fully kitted then. And then after that, we needed to do some parade. You can see we are all grouped according to our platoons. Your platoon is basically your group. I was in platoon 8, and these are my platoon members. And you can see other platoons. The soldier there is trying to adjust them so that we can start rehearsing the parade exercises. And so the next day I tried the APAP. Man, it wasn't really that bad. I'm trying to show the beams, but Where I was sitting was kind of dark, so I could not focus the camera very well on the food flags, but you can see shadows of it. That's just the beans where it is put. And then, man, the pap was not that bad, but it was kind of manageable. You can see my spoon and my plate.
We are going to acquire some knowledge this morning. We are going to acquire some level of consciousness about how
That was the voice of another lecturer who was invited to give us a security lecture. Man, it's always lecture, 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 and it's boring. You can see some of us are sleeping, some of them are actually sleeping, some are talking to each other, and we just had to sit and wait. Then it was time. I actually mashed. It was fun participating in the parade drills sometimes, so I just had to, you know, briefly take part of it, or take part in it rather. And the soldier was kind of friendly, and that was what drove the whole fun. And it was really fun. Let me That's just a summary of the whole thing. We actually Okay, that was a clip from the social night interplatoon dance competition. Although I can't really remember the platoon that is on stage or that was on stage dancing, but basically everything in camp revolves around competition between platoons. For this specific one, each platoon will have to come up with its representatives to dance, and then at the end of the day, the judges will announce the platoon with the first award, second award, and third award. That's basically it. But sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it can get boring because you're tired after the day's activities, boring lectures for 6 hours, the parade drills by the soldiers, and all that. So it can get boring at times, but you don't have a choice. That's basically it. So this was during a swearing in ceremony where the governor of the state would come, and then we take the oath of allegiance. You can see me trying to project my phone so that I'll be able to capture clearly, but unfortunately the camera had a different plan. But anyways, it went well, and I took some photographs. You can see, well, not too good, but they were manageable. These are my platoon members. The photos were just okay, and this was the RSM, the Regimental Sergeant Major, and it was fun taking pictures with my colleagues as well. Okay, so while in camp, when people come to hawk their food to, you know, core members in camp, we usually had the opportunity to try some of them. And this one is called abacha. You can see the woman trying to mix it. Abacha is basically sliced cassava mixed with other ingredients to give taste to it. I don't know what this my guy was tapping, but I think during that time it was not coin that was trending. Anyways, the woman had to mix the ingredients and then add some more oil to it, add some other ingredients, and then mixed everything to, turn uniform. But anyways, this was the guy that was about to get it, and I think he enjoyed it, but I did not want to try because I didn't want to have runny stomach.
You don't try am before. Chop am, you go like am. She no dey put the fish. If you want fish, na tell her she get fish. No, no.
Well, I just had to show you this so you prepare your mind towards it. Sometimes the restroom and the bathroom can be very, very unkempt. It can be very dirty. So you just have to prepare your mind towards it. Though there are usually cleaners who do the job, but sometimes in the afternoon and in the evening they don't come back to get these things done. You can see how wet the place is. There is even a stone we kept there to step on before you enter the bathroom or the restroom. So just get your mind prepared that you might likely experience this kind of thing in camp. So I was capturing this from the male hostel, and you can see all the guys washing their flags because the beagle was blown for evening meal. So all the guys were preparing their, cleaning up their dishes so that they can go and collect food. That is just basically how it is in camp. So during my stay in camp, I was briefly attached to the clinic, and this very morning, I and my colleagues came to get our food for those of us who were attached to the clinic for some duty. You can see the kitchen is quite busy, and we just came in to get our bread, egg, and tea. And that's my colleague inspecting to do a count to make sure that all the eggs and the bread are complete for those of us attached to the clinic for duty. So it was fun. So this was our lecturer taking us on agro allied, and the lecture is on SAID, that's skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development. The classes are usually boring because basically you're tired during the day's activities. You can see everybody, some of them are even dozing off. Some of them are seated without writing, just relaxing, because these are some of the only small opportunities you have to rest. But the man will just have to lecture to justify the fact that he has played his role. So that's it basically. You see most people sleeping, most people are just relaxed. They don't take interest in it. That it's usually boring, I must tell you. It's quite boring, but the man does not care. He just has to lecture and do his job.
The water is high, catfish will always survive because it has the ability to also attract atmospheric oxygen.
So these are some of my platoon members who will always pretend not to know anything about the parade, and so they will have some special moments with the soldiers who teach them basically some of the few things they need to know. So this was around evening when all the parade was done, and we just needed to retire back to our hostels and rest in preparation for the 8 o'clock social night event.
On sanitation, really like this.
It's not a stream dog.
So on this very day, after the morning parade drills, all the males were told to go to their hostel and clean it up by picking up all the, rubbish all around their surrounding, under the supervision of the men of the man o' war. You can see everybody speaking, and men, we were just careful so that you don't pick what you're not supposed to pick. And you understand what I mean. So everybody was just careful what you're picking so that you don't pick the wrong thing while trying to justify that you've actually picked something. So that was it basically. We picked all around, and after some time we had to retire back to the parade ground for the next activity. So it was time for each platoon to show off the skills they have acquired from their instructors during the training. So this was the interplatoon drill competition, and you can see the slow march version of the competition, where this is my platoon actually, and I don't know if you can spot me from the left wing by the right hand corner side. Yes, that's me at the extreme end there. So this was the quick march version of the interplatoon drill competition, and glory be to God, we came third in my platoon, and it was marching all through by the various platoons. My camera was not too great to capture these in details, but you can just see how uniform our feet were moving. It was just amazing how we acquired these skills, these military skills or military parade skills all within 3 weeks. And that was because the drills were really, really intensive.
Fantastic!
So we just finished from the interplatoon drill competition, and as you can see behind me, you can see everybody's rejoicing, everybody's celebrating because most of them won, most lost in the interplatoon competition, drill competition. So my platoon 8 came third in the interplatoon drill competition. So if you listen very carefully, you hear the background noise. Everybody is celebrating. The drums are beating because you can see them all over. It's been hectic training. The training has been very hectic, but in all, we say thank you to God Almighty. So peace out.
So basically, everything in camp revolves around interplatoon competitions. And this was the carnival day, and we were representing the Akwa Ibom culture. Yes, so you can see our representatives are dressed the way they are dressed because they represented the Akwa Ibom culture, basically. So I think after the whole event, we came up to this is our platoon officer in golden up and down dress, and we did very well. Like we did extremely well. It was actually fun, and to the best of my knowledge, I had fun. To tell you.
Our beautiful cultural dancers are here to represent the beautiful cultural dance. I'm in
can hear the echoes of excitement among my platoon members because I tell you the truth, this was an event you would have needed to be present because it was really fun. Like if Akwa Ibomites were there, it really represented a picture of what they do in their culture. So after everything, we took photographs and basically that was it. We came third or second, I can't really remember, but we did not lose. It was either third or second. Although it was kind of tiring to wake up very early in the morning every day, but attending the morning meditation was one of the activities in camp I cherished so much because it was just the perfect moment to connect with the Creator. Okay, so this was the second to last day of our stay in camp. You can see the camp is gradually becoming dry because everybody is going to tidy up one or two things in preparation for our departure tomorrow. So after the evening parade, I think there was no parade this evening. Yes, there was no parade this evening. We just had a few rehearsals and everybody went to their hostels to prepare against tomorrow's departure.